Hi, this is Carl with another super success video for IT service providers. Today I want to talk about 4 ways you can jumpstart your absolutely new IT consulting business or managed service business, one of which will kill it in the first year. So, how do you get started as an IT service provider without going out of business the first year? As odd as it sounds, this is a huge challenge. Most businesses, in general, don't survive the first 5 years. 80% of them go out of business, and many of them, it's not a big bang. They just sort of wither away and use up all their resources, and then they're done. You can avoid this, but you gotta have a strategy. So, assuming that you're super new to IT consulting or to managed services, here are 4 options for you to think about and one huge tip that will help you with your mental approach as you go through the first year of your business. The first thing to dig into is the treasure trove of free stuff. More than almost any industry I've ever seen, we have an industry filled with massive free information, and it falls into several categories: blogs, podcasts, videos, free shows. Every vendor has or should have a training program to help you learn about their products, their services, sometimes in very excruciating detail. So you can find out about a lot of stuff before you spend any money. On the education front, I personally love blogs, and I know a lot of people think, oh, I don't want to do all that reading, but videos are awesome for quick access to content. Podcasts, a little bit slower, but lots of great content. Neither videos nor podcasts, both of which I produce, are truly random access. A blog is much easier to index and therefore to search, to have lots and lots of rich keywords, and you've got an entire title full of keywords, plus they stay essentially forever. We have tons and tons and tons of free channels on YouTube, on podcasts, in blogs. They're all over the place. And then there's a whole bunch of people, myself included, who have free products. You want a white paper on this or a checklist for that? It might just be available for the low price of your email address. And, you can always unsubscribe to any list you get added to. I recommend that you be a good citizen. And if you're going to unsubscribe, just click unsubscribe. Don't block them or report them as spam. You got something for free. At least, be nice about it if you're going to leave the list. But there are people who log on, download, unsubscribe, all in a matter of seconds. So that's up to you. Among the free things you'll find are great webinars. So many webinars are sponsored. Some people give free information in a webinar so that it's sort of the lighter version of what you know to be the sales pitch at the end, and they're going to sell you into a bigger program. But if they're good at what they do, they have true educational value so that you realize they are giving you something first before they ask for money. Those are the truly best webinars. Some webinars are sponsored by vendors. And for the most part, you're going to get 45, 50 minutes of education and 5 minutes of commercial. And that's normal. Again, nothing is free. There's no free lunch. So the price of admission is you got to sit through a commercial. But very frequently, especially with the vendors that I deal with, the information is going to be about how to run your business most effectively, followed by, and this is brought to you by a company, right? I don't tend to do the stuff where we do a deep dive into cybersecurity sponsored by a cybersecurity person, right? I do stuff like that in interviews, but in a webinar, what you're going to find is here's true content sponsored by. And that's very different. Now, vendors will also have their own webinars where they basically say, let us show you how to use our tool to improve your business. You know, the first question, the most important question that I ask in a podcast interview is always, how do we make money if we give you some of ours, right? If I sign up for your service, if I buy your stuff, if I resell your products, how do I make money as an IT consultant? So the very best vendors and the very best vendor webinars are going to be the ones that, instead of walking you through their menu options and the latest and greatest color scheme for their new whiz-bang feature with all of the keywords and most modern up-to-date buzzwords, instead they're going to give you actual education. Like, wouldn't it be great if you could do this with your business? We've shown you how you can do that, how it improves it. Here's some statistics. And now we encourage you to use our tool to get that job done, right? So however you look at it, there's ways for you to get massive free education. And, you know, the cost is usually an email or something like that. A cautionary note about free trials. One of the things about free trials is that vendors seem to think somehow that free can be free. Like, hey, no questions asked, use it for 30 days. Well, you know, if it's a really good product, I'm going to have to spend those 30 days installing it, configuring it, securing it, making sure that I don't mess anything up, making sure I don't punch holes in my own security, learning the tool, trying to figure out. And so while I'm running a business, I have to take 30 days and the clock is ticking to figure out whether or not I want to use your product. There has to be a better sales proposal. Time and time again, I've been asked, oh, can you do a 30-day this and a 30-day that? I'm like, I'm not in the business of test driving your stuff. That's my personal bias. That's my opinion. But for the most part, unless you've already decided that you're probably going to buy something, I wouldn't waste my time going through the 30-day free trial just to decide that you're not going to do that, right? So they need to figure out a better way to sell you on how you can make money with their stuff so that when you click the big button, you are already sold on their product or service. Most of my free stuff, I've got a bunch of websites out there, but it's either going to be at mspwebinar.com or at store.smallbizthoughts.com. I've got a bunch of free stuff that you can download, free educational materials that you can take advantage of, and obviously blogs and podcasts and so forth. And if you go to my blog, and over on the right side, you're going to see a blog roll of my other favorite blogs, some of the most popular blogs in our industry that I actually pay some attention to. In my weekly newsletter, I have a list of other people's stuff that you can get access to. I'm real big on sharing this and hoping that other people will share my stuff as well. And that gets us to the second item. The second big treasure trove of information that you should access in the first year of business is communities. Now, some communities are paid, some are free, but either way, there are massive resources inside of communities. I know every industry has people who help each other out, and I've seen it time and time again, but technology is unique in that something that's invented literally as you're watching this video will grow to its peak in a few years, and it will reach an amazing threshold and great success and blah, blah, blah. And then it will begin to, fade out and be replaced by the next big thing. But think about what that means. Somewhere between 3 and 5 years from now, someone watching this video could be the single most talented person in the world on that technology. Somebody is going to be. Like, there's absolutely brand new technology. It is going to go through that regular cycle we all know about, and someone will be the greatest at that technology in the entire world, and somebody will be in the top 10%, and right? You get to be one of those people. You get to literally go from nothing to everything. But the other side of that coin is It will be replaced. There's a constant refresh of technology in our industry, and as a result, we are constantly having to learn. We're constantly having to have an open mind. This gives successful technical people a mindset of growth, a mindset that fundamentally says, I can learn new things. I can get good at things I'm not currently good at. I can use that to improve myself, my business, my skill set, my company. And so that growth mindset, that fundamental belief that we can grow and expand and learn new things means that we approach everything. We approach our business, our family, our clients, our employees, and each other with a certain openness that everybody around us is learning. Everybody around us hasn't seen this new technology before. Everybody around us has gone through some hurdles to get here. Everyone around us is going to go through more hurdles to get to the next level. And we can help each other get there. We all know we're going to learn faster if we get a bunch of people together and talk about something that we're all challenged with. This industry has so many community opportunities. They're on Reddit, they're on Facebook, they're on LinkedIn, they're all over the place. There are communities where you can actually meet online. Some of them are paid, some are free. If you're only going to join a handful of communities, I would say everybody listening to this should be a member of the Small Biz Thoughts technology community. Yes, it costs money. Everybody should be a member of the Tech Tribe. Yes, it costs money. Everybody should be a member of ASCII. You can attend a whole lot of stuff for free, but it's not that expensive, and you should just join because what the heck, right? You're going to get so much out of it. And finally, everybody who's listening to me should join CompTIA. CompTIA is fundamentally something where they want you to pay, but you can do an awful lot of stuff without having to pay. All of them have opportunities for you to meet people. All of them have opportunities for you to get involved. And when you decide that you're going to be a professional in this industry, well, then you need to join the National Society of IT Service Providers. Your entire company can join for as little as $150 a year, goes up from there. But basically, that's the place where you can meet people who are interested in having this be their profession and to elevating everybody in the industry to the next level. There are tons of communities, like on Facebook. There's a lot of stuff where you can just join the group. You should, if you're going to do that, participate. Jump into a conversation, ask a question, post up your challenges, right? Some of those are open to everybody and are kind of not quite a free-for-all, but anybody can ask anything about anything and you're free to do what you want. Obviously, there are community guidelines. Others are very tightly controlled and they're really kind of a front for a sales proposition, right? And that's fine too. Just know what you're getting into. Know that, okay, I sit through a certain amount of self-indulgent behavior here, and then I get a whole bunch of stuff for free, right? Again, there's only so close we can get to a free lunch, right? Fundamentally, we share information for lots and lots of reasons. We share information so that we can grow, so we can help other people to grow, so that our team can grow, right? So that we have kind of a community view about how we operate and how this industry should operate. All of those are things that you can get in the community. And some people will say, oh, I don't want to share my secrets with the competition. I don't like to call you stupid, but that is the stupidest thing that you could possibly say in this industry. Nobody is your competition until you decide you're going to compete with them for whatever reason. We live in an expanding universe, and especially in IT, the amount of industry knowledge that there is expands every year. The number of clients and prospects expands every year. The amount of money in this industry expands every year. It continues to grow and grow and grow. And, you know, there's a million stories, but I can tell you, I have never met anybody that I consider actual competition where if they get $1, I don't get that dollar. That's an absurd way of looking at the world. And I'm sorry, if you believe otherwise, that's okay. You have the right to be wrong. It is great to get together in a group, whether that's 5 people, 10 people, 100 people, in person or online, and share your knowledge, share your challenges, and see how much people are willing to help you grow and improve your business. There are groups that specialize in certain technologies, certain operating systems, certain vendor programs, certain sales programs, certain marketing programs. There's a community for everybody about everything. And you can always start out and not have to pay huge amounts of money for these things. You should have some budget. You should agree, like, okay, what am I willing to pay for this? Don't pay more than you can afford. If you need to go to a monthly program, do that. If you need to start out for free in a program that allows that and get as much as you can for free before you join at a higher rate, you should do that. Bottom line is, if you're not sure what communities to join, well, start with the list I'm going to put into the notes below, and then go find those communities, ask some people, join those communities, join other communities, poke around, see what you can find. You know, about, I want to say 5 years ago, I stumbled onto a community I'd never heard of. And they were people who had just gotten into this industry. They somehow found each other on Facebook. They started their own little group. They didn't even know that the broader, already connected community existed. And once they were exposed to it, all of them jumped in with both feet because they had a taste of what it's like to share information and to be connected and to help each other out. And they all became more successful because they found the bigger, broader community, which is not just inside one city or one country or one continent. It is worldwide, and I am not exaggerating when I say that. The third massive treasure trove is the Small Biz Thoughts technology community. And yes, this is a bit of a commercial. This is a bit of a self-serving post, but I honestly and sincerely believe we put this community together to make you as successful as possible. I've written over 20 books, most of them focused 100% on helping IT consultants be as successful as possible. I've done hundreds of videos, thousands of white papers, tens of thousands, maybe even 100,000 pages of supplemental materials, videos, podcasts, audio programs, trainings. Oh yeah, classes, right? And I bundled it all together so that you could buy it in one big lump. And I don't know what you think that's worth. If you bought it all separately, it'd be in the range of, $15,000, $20,000, but that's not what we do, right? The entry-level community membership at the Small Biz Thoughts Technology Community is only $799 a year. That gives you access to everything, all the materials, all the downloads, all the checklists. If you wanted like a starter kit on what you need to run an IT consulting business, that's it. Now, with that, you also get one of the 5-week classes for no additional charge over at IT Service Provider University. Those classes are focused 100% on running your IT business. Now, the next jump up is the Community Plus membership, which includes all of that. And in addition to that, you get access to all of the classes over at IT Service Provider University. That's 25 classes which sell for $399 each. So, that is literally a $10,000 value on top of all the material inside the community. Both memberships also give you access to me, to the community meetings that we have, the breakouts that we have, the marketing programs that we have. So there's lots of juicy, good stuff there. And here's what I would challenge you. Join for 1 year. Jump in with both feet and get as much value out of it as you possibly can. Engage me as much as you can. I challenge you. Read all the books. I challenge you. Download all the podcasts. Download all of the audio programs. Download all the training materials. Download all the checklists and the calculators and see if you can put them all to use. Don't overwhelm yourself. Do not overwhelm yourself. But pick a few things. Pick the first thing that you need. Schedule a Zoom meeting with me and I will help you figure out where those resources are. Download the resources, put that in place, move your company to the next level, pick one more thing and go from there. We'll come back to this. Bottom line is, I encourage you to try 1 year of the Small Biz Thoughts technology community. And if you do that and you jump in and you get as much value as possible, I'm betting you'll want to renew your membership. I'm betting that you'll want continued access. So dive in with both feet, get out as much value as you possibly can, and engage me as much as you possibly can. There's also a team membership. We're not going to go into that in great detail in this video, but if you need your entire team to have access, and I would say if you have 3 or more people, you absolutely have to do that, then the team membership is probably something that's worth looking at. Finally, the fourth big thing you can do that I think you should not do is to buy everything that you can find. Even if you came to this industry because you got a bunch of money, you won the lottery, or you retired and took a severance pay, or you inherited a bunch of money from your grandmother, or whatever. Just because you have a bunch of money doesn't mean you should spend it all at once. Here's the key to success. Here's the tip I promised you. When you start out, even if you got a bunch of money in the bank, you can only change one thing at a time. That might be to hire somebody. That might mean to double the size of your business. And then you can do 2 things at a time. Great. That takes money and that takes time. And you got to figure out how to do it right. I highly encourage you, do not take your big bankroll, sign up for these tools that you hear about. Oh, I got to have a remote monitoring patch management system. I'm going to sign up for that. I'm going to spend money and I'm going to commit to a year worth at this price range. Great. Now I'm totally set. Oh, wait, I need a PSA. So I'm going to buy into that at this level. And now I have another big expense and I'm going to sign up for a year of that at this rate. Well, so far you have 0 clients, or maybe you have 1 client, or maybe you have a couple of clients, but they're not on managed services, which means if they're not on managed services, your expected revenue next month is $0.00 until something breaks and then you get to make some money. Do not go buy everything you could buy. Don't sign up for all these programs that cost a bunch of money. Don't sign up for big expensive training, right? Plan to spend a few $100s a month, period. Because that's how much you can consume when you are just starting out in this business or any business. Buy into that. Then go get yourself a client. Do not commit yourself to more expenses than you have revenue. We all do that from time to time and off, and you'll do it more than once over the course of the next 20 years of your career. But don't start out by buying everything when you have no clients and no revenue and no signed contracts. You know, in managed services in a month, I have this formula. Do this, right? But what I don't tell you to do is go buy every freaking thing on earth before you have the clients to support it. So make sure that you have a plan, prioritize them. For me, I would say RMM is the first thing you need to buy. And getting yourself a good financial package is the second thing you need to buy. And a PSA is the third thing you need to buy. And you do have to have programs. If you're going to be reselling Microsoft, well, you got to go join that program. If you're going to be reselling other people, that you may have to pay money for those programs. You may need some training. take one step at a time and try as hard as you can to stay below the level of your current revenue. Yes, it takes money to make money, and there will be times when you will need to spend some really legitimate money. And, sometimes you're going to have to spend a little extra with the assumption you're going to get a client. But don't go spend $20, $30, $40, $80,000 with no clients. And the reason I'm making a big deal out of this is that I've seen it more than once. I've had people who came to me for coaching and I practically begged them, stop doing this. Go get a client. Go get a client and come back to me. As soon as you have a client, we'll talk about the next level. But if you don't have any clients, then this is all just a great intellectual exercise, which is fine. But if you also have to feed your family and you also intend to grow your business, well, you gotta go get clients, right? So focus on the basics. Focus on the fundamentals. Go get a client. Buy the tools you need today. Early on, it is absolutely okay to pay the highest price you need to pay to support one client so that you do it right, so that they give you a good positive thumbs up, so that you can go get another client and then another and another and another. It's literally been 20 years since I told people I will not buy remote monitoring licenses 1,000 at a time. Because on the day that I need them, I might need to deploy 10 or I might need to deploy 20. That leaves me with over 900 unused licenses that I'm paying for and I don't have any clients to support. So it's okay to not get the best price on everything day one. You're starting out. Act like you're starting out, right? Be frugal with your money so that you can get to the next level and the next level and the next level. It takes time, it takes effort, it takes perseverance, it takes education, it takes taking advantage of those free things, joining the right communities, investing where you need to. You got to juggle the balance of all of those things. Finally, I promised you one big tip, and I've sort of teased about it already, and that is do one thing at a time, get one client at a time. If you don't have clients or you only have a handful of clients, go through a short exercise. I've got what I call the ideal client. You can find that term on my blog at blog.smallbizthoughts.com. Or if you're in the community, just look for it and you'll find I've got an entire process of picking out your ideal client. Once you've identified your ideal client, go find one person that looks like that or gets close to looking like that. Make a deal with them, sign them up, get a contract. Probably that contract, I can't imagine it'll be less than $500 a month, but it might be $1,000 a month. And now you've got $1,000 a month. Now, relax a little bit and go get another client. And here's the strategy I would tell you. The strategy that will make a huge difference your first year. Spend 1 hour a day, every day, 1 hour doing something related to marketing. And there's only one exception to that rule. If you're going to spend time on a sales meeting or something related to sales, do that first. You're absolved. If you spend 2 hours doing a sales meeting on Monday, well, by goodness, now that's 2 hours you don't have to spend on marketing. Okay, so now Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, you go back to doing your marketing. 1 hour a day. When you get to the point where you have enough clients, then you can say, okay, I'm going to adjust this a little bit. But too many people go into business and they start out organizing the office and getting their stationery together, which nobody uses anymore, and building the perfect website and building the perfect marketing material and finding the right tools and increasing their output of money for tools and programs, and they don't have any clients. They don't have any money coming in. They don't have a revenue source. They certainly don't have recurring revenue, which means they don't have a foundation on which they can build the rest of their business. It is hard to be in business, and if you don't do it right, you will 100% fail in the next 5 years. That does not have to happen. There's so much free stuff. There's so many great communities. There's so many opportunities for you to engage. You should not fail. But it means you have to put in the hard work. You have to reach back into that growth mindset that got you here in the first place, and then you need to say, okay, how can I learn? How can I grow? What can I do to take my business to the next level? Figure it out. And if you know what, here's the best news. If you can't figure it out, engage your community. Post something online, post something on a forum, post something inside of one of the communities that you've joined. Ask people for help. Ask them what you should do. Ask them for ideas. And you may not take their ideas exactly and precisely the way that they give them, but it's a great place to start. Again, I get back to the fact, I got all these books. You want managed services in a month? Read Managed Services in a Month. You want to figure out cloud services? Cloud services in a month. You may not do everything in that book. You certainly may not do it the way I do it. But it'll give you ideas. It'll put stuff into your brain and it'll help you think, oh, here's how I do that in this business, and here's how I would change that for my clients, or here's how I change that for my offering or my attitude or whatever, my goals for the universe, right? Take all of those things. You want SOPs? We got thousands of SOPs. We have just so much massive stuff in this industry. You just have to access it, but don't overwhelm yourself. Don't buy 3 fire hoses and stick them in your mouth. Go to the water fountain and sip what you can consume, refresh yourself, go to the next level. One thing at a time, one change at a time, one client at a time, one sale at a time, one improvement at a time. Rinse, repeat. Go through this process with intention and you will be successful, and you've got an entire community worldwide who will help you. All you have to do is engage with intention. I know that's a massive amount of information, but please, if you have any comments or questions, put them down below. I would be very happy to engage with you, give you all the details from my perspective, and help you where I can. For Small Biz Thoughts, this is Carl Polachuk, wishing you the best of luck in everything you do.